Welcome to today's episode of Road to 50 Million. Now, 50 million, I hope you know, is just my goal. I want you to be thinking about your goal. What is your road? If you think about your road, I define a year starting October 14th, and you may define your year as starting in a couple of weeks with New Year's, or you may have a different year. But wherever you are, quarterly, 6 months, 1 month, a year, you're working at something. You always are. We all are. And that's fabulous. Working at something on purpose. That is the very thing that causes us to grow. We do things to create. You and I are born to create. And so when I ask what your goals are, really I'm just asking, what are you creating? Are you creating a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy? Are you creating a life of complacency? I don't know. But ask yourself that. Today, I want to talk about believing and the role that believing plays. What does it mean to believe something? Well, it can be, well, I believe that it's cold outside. And that'd be based on the fact that it's December and it's Edmonton and it's probably cold in December in Edmonton. I haven't been outside yet today, but I believe it is cold. Those are beliefs. I'm not talking about that today. What the kind of belief I'm talking about are those fundamental things that you hold true. What do you believe? Let's start with your own goal or the thing you are creating instead of using the word goal. Sometimes people object to goal, you know, especially around New Year's. I don't care. What are you creating? Do you believe in it? Do you believe you can? I had an opportunity to have a podcast interview a few days ago with a woman who told an incredible story about her upbringing, her growth years, and the abuse and struggle and addiction that her mom had, and all of the struggles. And she believed that she could have control. She believed she could do something about it, and she did. And she made massive progress and was promoted a lot in her business career, and now is a person who takes it upon herself to serve companies, creating good culture and powerful behaviors and relationship structures and everything else. But that's something she created because she believed she could. So I want to ask you what you believe. What are you creating and what do you believe about it? Do you believe it's something that you might be able to do if everything lines up right? Do you believe that your creation, the life that you want? I always start from the idea that we all want to live happy. We all want to have a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy. Like, those are the words for me. Other people use different words. And I get to ask a lot of people that because my podcast, I interview a lot of people and ask them that question. I say the ultimate life is a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy you create with your divine gifts. And I always ask them, what's your definition? So I get to hear a lot of that. And a lot of times it's freedom. I can do whatever I want and so forth. But most of the time, nearly always, it includes I love helping people achieve things. I love helping success blossom and create. Well, I think we're built that way. So I want you to look at your goal right now, your beliefs. What are you creating? Are you creating on purpose or are you creating accidentally? Because the truth is, whether you believe it or not, you're creating. Right now, every word you speak, every thought you have or I have is creative power. If I speak negatively, if I speak in a resigned, frustrated way, that's what I create. I create the energy of resignation. I read a chapter in a book this morning by a friend of mine, Chris Doris. He just published a book called 52 Mantras for Success or for Mind, Helping Your Mind. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's a good book and it just came out. And the chapter was about getting doubt out of the equation. You're not born with doubt. You're not. A baby doesn't explore, a toddler doesn't explore doubt. We learn to doubt. We learn to doubt ourselves. We learn to doubt the circumstances. We learn to doubt the faithfulness and truth of others. And sometimes that's from hard experience. So this conversation today isn't about controlling anyone. This is about what do you believe about yourself? I want you to marinate on that for a minute. What do you believe about yourself? Here's what I know. I'll just show you what I know about you from my experience. I know that you're a divine being. I know you're a being of light. I know you have gifts. I know you have talents. And I know you feel that sometimes and maybe all the time. I also know that you have had doubts and fears that plague you, bother you, that let you feel like, I can't do this, I'm not important, it's too late, I'm not good enough. I know that you felt that too. The question for all of us, you and me, is what do you believe now? The fact that you have doubted before or didn't doubt before when we were little and we tried crazy things. I always think of skiing. When I learned to ski, I was older, I was 45. When I learned to ski, and my kids learned faster than I did and were more daring than me. And I learned hard and I pushed myself because I'm kind of a, yeah, all in or don't bother kind of a guy. But you know what? They had less fear, and so they would just do things that would frighten me, and that very fear manifested itself in the movements of my body and my ability to keep balance because things were held back for just a split second by fear. So what do you believe about yourself? Do you know at this moment you're a divine being? Do you know at this moment you can have anything you want? If I say that, and if I was in your presence, would you slap me? Whack. No, I can't. I don't know. But I know that you can. And you know why? I was thinking about this morning before I did this. And I thought, I have a particular goal. My goal is to reach 50 million people this year before October and help them to discover their own gifts and to serve with those gifts and create the ultimate life. That's my goal. 50 million people. That's my goal. And these broadcasts are just part of that, me achieving that goal, reaching you and whoever else watches it, and inviting you to connect with your own gifts and talents. You have them. And the choice is, do you believe that? And do you believe you can do something with it? Because if you don't, it won't happen. I don't remember who it was, but someone is credited with saying, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And there's 100 sayings like that, whatever someone can conceive and believe they can achieve. There's 100 of those sayings floating around. Why do they exist? Why is someone running around saying crazy things like that? Except they know they're true. Their own personal experience knows they're true. So if you look at your goals right now, or the things you are creating, number one, are you creating on purpose? Or are you doing it accidentally? Are days just going by, interrupted by whatever, and that's the creation because you are creating? Or are you creating with focus and intention? A lot of that, at least for me, has to do with what I believe. If I believe in what I'm doing, really, then there's a lot more focus and attention. If I just have a goal out there and I don't really believe it, like hardcore, then there's a lot more distraction and deflection instead of focus and attention. So whether you set New Year's resolutions or not, I don't know, and I don't really care. What I do care about is, do you know what your gifts are? Are you using them on purpose to serve those around you? Are you turning it into a business? You don't have to. Sometimes we just serve with gifts. Like for a long time, I'm a musician. I love to do music. For a long time, the way I used my music was in community choirs, community drama, church, and all kinds of things. And I never really tried to make it a business. Now I have a whole bunch of music. It's on Spotify and everything else, because I want to not only encourage and inspire, but I'd like to have that be a piece of my business. Same with writing books. I didn't write books before 2007. I was 52 before I even started. And now I've got 18 and I've got a couple underway. And that is also something that I do. I write to encourage. Every single one of my books, I write to encourage you to tell your story, whether you write a book or not. Tell your story. Believe in yourself. Life is a lot more fun when you believe in yourself. Living in a world of doubt and fear is available at any moment. I can sink, you can sink back into doubt and fear in a heartbeat. Some bad thing can happen, some bad feedback, someone says something, you have some struggle, something doesn't go like you want, and boom, back in doubt and fear. As Pressfield says in his book, I was reading a piece of that book this morning, Do the Work. Resistance to your gifts and talents is permanent, and it's there every time you breathe. That resistance is your measure of good progress. The bigger the resistance we feel, the more we know we're moving in a good direction. The resistance amps up, the more you get close to your divine purpose and gifts. I can promise you that. Pressfield says it, I've experienced it, and I have a ton of clients who express the same feeling. So whatever your road is to 50 million, and whatever your 50 million is, it's $50 million, 50 million people, whatever the numbers are and whatever the measurements are, believe in yourself. Escort doubt out of the room. Escort the naysayers out of your life. You don't need them. You don't need them. We all need all the encouragement, strength, and power we can get. So are you doing the things every single day that ramp up your belief? Or are you doing things that squish it down? Are you doing things that make your goal more clear and more present for you, or foggier and further away? I would invite you with all the love in my heart to believe in yourself. You're divine, you're capable, no matter what anyone else says, and no matter what has happened before this very moment. 3 invitations really quick. My road to 50 million is my commitment this year, between now and October 14th, 2023, to help 50 million people discover and serve with their gifts. If you're already doing that and you're living a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, I'd invite you to reach out. I like to know people like that and add to the number of people that I know so I can talk to them and we can do things together. If you're not and you're struggling and there are things that you want to do and you just want the encouragement and help you need, I'd ask you to reach out, because that's my mission, is to help you and 50 million others discover and serve with your gifts. If you'd like to help me reach my 50 million, I'd like to hear from you and I'd like to hear your ideas. Those are my 3 invitations. No matter what you do, live in belief today. Believe in yourself. You are divine. You are capable. I'll see you tomorrow.